Lysistrata. By Aristophanes. Characters in the play: Lysistrata, Cleonice, Myrrhine, Lampito, Magistrates, Synesius, child of Synesius, herald of the Lacedaemonians, envoys of the Lacedaemonians, an Athenian citizen, chorus of old men, chorus of women. Scene: at the base of the orchestra are two buildings, the house of Lysistrata and the entrance to the Acropolis. A winding and narrow path leads up to the latter. Between the two buildings is the opening of the cave of Pan. Lysistrata is pacing up and down in front of her house. Lysistrata. Ah! If only they had been invited to a Bacchic revelling, or a feast of Pan or Aphrodite or Genitalius, why? The streets would have been impassable for the thronging tambourines. Now there's never a woman here, except my neighbor Cleonice, whom I see approaching yonder. Good day, Cleonice. Cleonice. Good day, Lysistrata, but pray, why this dark, forbidding face, my dear? Believe me, you don't look a bit pretty with those black lowering brows. Lysistrata. Oh, Cleonice, my heart is on fire, I blush for our sex. Men will have it we are tricky and sly. Cleonice. And they are quite right, upon my word. Lysistrata. Yet, look you, when the women are summoned to meet for a matter of the greatest importance, they lie in bed instead of coming. Cleonice. Oh! They will come, my dear, but it's not easy, you know, for women to leave the house. One is busy pottering about her husband, another is getting the servant up, a third is putting her child asleep or washing the brat or feeding it. Lysistrata. But I tell you, the business that calls them here is far and away more urgent. Cleonice. And why do you summon us, dear Lysistrata? What is it all about? Lysistrata. About a big thing. Cleonice. Taking this in a different sense, with great interest. And is it thick too? Lysistrata. Yes, very thick. Cleonice. And we are not all on the spot. Imagine. Lysistrata. Wearily. Oh! If it were what you suppose, there would be never an absentee. No, no, it concerns a thing I have turned about and about this way and that so many sleepless nights. Cleonice. Still unable to be serious. It must have been something mighty big and bouncy for you to have turned it about so. Lysistrata. So big that it means, just this, Greece saved by the women. Cleonice. By the women? Why, its salvation hangs on a poor thread then. Lysistrata. Our country's fortunes depend on us. It is with us to undo utterly the Peloponnesians. Cleonice. That would be a noble deed truly. Lysistrata. To exterminate the Boeotians to a man. Cleonice. But surely you would spare the eels. Lysistrata. For Athens' sake I will never threaten so fell a doom as to kill such delicacies as the eels, trust me for that. However, if the Boeotian and Peloponnesian women join us, Greece is saved. Cleonice. But how should women perform so wise and glorious an achievement, we women who dwell in the retirement of the household, clad in diaphanous garments of yellow silk and long flowing gowns, decked out with flowers and shod with dainty little slippers? Lysistrata. Ah, but those are the very sheet anchors of our salvation, those yellow tunics, those scents and slippers, those cosmetics and transparent robes. Cleonice. How so, pray? Lysistrata. There is not a man will wield a lance against another. Cleonice. Quick, I will get me a yellow tunic from the dyers. Lysistrata. Or want a shield. Cleonice. I'll run and put on a flowing gown. Lysistrata. Or draw a sword. Cleonice. I'll haste and buy a pair of slippers this instant. Lysistrata. Now tell me, would not the women have done best to come? Cleonice. Why, they should have flown here. Lysistrata. Ah! My dear, you'll see that like true Athenians, they will do everything too late. Why, there's not a woman come from the shore, not one from Salamis. Cleonice. But I know for certain they embarked at daybreak. Lysistrata. And they dames from Acharnae. Why, I thought they would have been the very first to arrive. Cleonice. Theagenes' wife at any rate is sure to come, she has actually been to consult Hecate. But look! Here are some arrivals and there are more behind. Ah! Ha! Now what countrywomen may they be? Lysistrata. They are from Anagyra. Cleonice. Yes. Upon my word, 'tis a levy and masse of all the female population of Anagyra. Mere Rhine. Enters. Followed by other women. Mere Rhine. Are we late, Lysistrata? Tell us, pray, what, not a word? Lysistrata. I cannot say much for you, mere Rhine. You have not bestirred yourself overmuch for an affair of such urgency. Mere Rhine. I could not find my girdle in the dark. However, if the matter is so pressing, here we are, so speak. Cleonice. No, let's wait a moment more, till the women of Boeotia arrive and those from the Peloponnese. Lysistrata. Yes, that is best. Ah! Here comes Lampito. Lampito, a husky Spartan damsel, enters with 3 others, 2 from Boeotia and 1 from Corinth. Good day, Lampito, dear friend from Lacedaemon. How well and handsome you look. What a rosy complexion. And how strong you seem, why, you could strangle a bull surely. Lampito. Yes, indeed, I really think I could. It's because I do gymnastics and practice the ass-kicking dance. Cleonice. Opening Lampito's robe and baring her bosom. And what superb breasts! Lampito. La! You are feeling me as if I were a beast for sacrifice. Lysistrata. And this young woman, where is she from? Lampito. She is a noble lady from Boeotia. Lysistrata. Ah! My pretty Boeotian friend, you are as blooming as a garden. Cleonice. Making another inspection. Yes, on my word. And her garden is so thoroughly weeded too. Lysistrata pointing to the Corinthian. And who is this? Lampito. 'Tis an honest woman, by my faith. She comes from Corinth. Cleonice. Oh! Honest, no doubt then as honesty goes at Corinth. Lampito. But who has called together this council of women, pray? Lysistrata. I have. Lampito. Well then, tell us what you want of us. Cleonice. Yes, please tell us. What is this very important business you wish to inform us about? Lysistrata. I will tell you. But first answer me one question. Cleonice. Anything you wish. Lysistrata. Don't you feel sad and sorry because the fathers of your children are far away from you with the army? For I'll wager there is not one of you whose husband is not abroad at this moment. Cleonice. Mine has been the last 5 months in Thrace looking after Eucrates. Mere Rhine. It's 7 long months since mine left for Pylos. Lampito. As for mine, if he ever does return from service, he's no sooner home than he takes down his shield again and flies back to the wars. Lysistrata. And not so much as the shadow of a lover. Since the day the Milesians betrayed us, I have never once seen an 8-inch gadget even, to be a leathern consolation to us poor widows. Now tell me, if I have discovered a means of ending the war, will you all second me? Cleonice. Yes, verily, by all the goddesses, I swear I will, though I have to put my gown in pawn, and drink the money the same day. Mere Rhine. And so will I, though I must be split in two like a flat fish, and have half myself removed. Lampito. And I too, why to secure peace, I would climb to the top of Mount Taygetus. Lysistrata. Then I will out with it at last, my mighty secret. Oh! Sister women, if we would compel our husbands to make peace, we must refrain. Cleonice. Refrain from what? Tell us, tell us. Lysistrata. But will you do it? Mere Rhine. We will, though we should die of it. Lysistrata. We must refrain from the male altogether. Nay, why do you turn your backs on me? Where are you going? So, you bite your lips, and shake your heads, eh? Why these pale, sad looks? Why these tears? Come, will you do it, yes or no? Do you hesitate? Cleonice. I will not do it, let the war go on. Mere Rhine. Nor will I, let the war go on. Lysistrata. To Mere Rhine. And you say this, my pretty flat fish, who declared just now they might split you in two. Cleonice. Anything but that. Bid me go through the fire, if you will, but to rob us of the sweetest thing in all the world, Lysistrata darling. Lysistrata. To Mere Rhine. And you? Mere Rhine. Yes, I agree with the others, I too would sooner go through the fire. Lysistrata. Oh, wanton, vicious sex! The poets have done well to make tragedies upon us, we are good for nothing then but love and lewdness. But you, my dear, you from hardy Sparta, if you join me, all may yet be well, help me, second me, I beg you. Lampito. 'Tis a hard thing, by the two goddesses it is. For a woman to sleep alone without ever a strong male in her bed. But there, peace must come first. Lysistrata. Oh, my darling, my dearest, best friend, you are the only one deserving the name of woman. Cleonice. But if which the gods forbid we do refrain altogether from what you say, should we get peace any sooner? Lysistrata. Of course we should, by the goddesses twain. We need only sit indoors with painted cheeks, and meet our mates lightly clad in transparent gowns of amorgus silk, and perfectly depilate, they will get their tools up and be wild to lie with us. That will be the time to refuse, and they will hasten to make peace, I am convinced of that. Lampito. Yes, just as Menelaus, when he saw Helen's naked bosom, threw away his sword, they say. Cleonice. But, oh dear, suppose our husbands go away and leave us. Lysistrata. Then, as for Crates says, we must flay a skinned dog, that's all. Cleonice. Fiddlesticks! These proverbs are all idle talk. But if our husbands drag us by main force into the bedchamber? Lysistrata. Hold on to the doorposts. Cleonice. But if they beat us? Lysistrata. Then yield to their wishes, but with a bad grace, there is no pleasure in it for them, when they do it by force. Besides, there are 1,000 ways of tormenting them. Never fear, they'll soon tire of the game, there's no satisfaction for a man, unless the woman shares it. Cleonice. Very well, if you must have it so, we agree. Lampito. For ourselves, no doubt we shall persuade our husbands to conclude a fair and honest peace, but there is the Athenian populace, how are we to cure these folk of their warlike frenzy? Lysistrata. Have no fear, we undertake to make our own people listen to reason. Lampito. That's impossible, so long as they have their trusty ships and the vast treasures stored in the temple of Athena. Lysistrata. Ah! But we have seen to that, this very day the Acropolis will be in our hands. That is the task assigned to the older women, while we are here in council, they are going, under pretense of offering sacrifice, to seize the citadel. Lampito. Well said indeed. Everything is going for the best. Lysistrata. Come, quick, Lampito, and let us bind ourselves by an inviolable oath. Lampito. Recite the terms, we will swear to them. Lysistrata. With pleasure. Where is our Scythian policewoman? Now, what are you staring at, pray? Lay this shield on the earth before us, its hollow upwards, and someone bring me the victims inwards. Cleonice. Lysistrata, say, what oath are we to swear? Lysistrata. What oath? Why, in Aeschylus, they sacrifice a sheep, and swear over a buckler, we will do the same. Cleonice. No, Lysistrata, one cannot swear peace over a buckler, surely. Lysistrata. What other oath do you prefer? Cleonice. Let's take a white horse, and sacrifice it, and swear on its entrails. Lysistrata. But where shall we get a white horse? Cleonice. Well, what oath shall we take then? Lysistrata. Listen to me. Let's set a great black bull on the ground, let's sacrifice a skin of Thasian wine into it, and take oath not to add one single drop of water. Lampito. Ah! That's an oath pleases me more than I can say. Lysistrata. Let them bring me a bull and a skin of wine. Cleonice. Ah! My dears, what a noble big bowl! What fun it will be to empty it! Lysistrata. Set the bowl down on the ground, and lay your hands on the victim. Almighty Goddess, Persuasion, and thou, bowl, boon comrade of joy and merriment, receive this our sacrifice, and be propitious to us poor women. Cleonice. As Lysistrata pours the wine into the bowl. Oh! The fine red blood! How well it flows! Lampito. And what a delicious bouquet, by Castor! Cleonice. Now, my dears, let me swear first, if you please. Lysistrata. No, by Aphrodite, unless it's decided by lot. But come, then, Lampito, and all of you, put your hands to the bowl, and do you, Cleonice, repeat for all the rest the solemn terms I am going to recite. Then you must all swear, and pledge yourselves by the same promises I will have naught to do whether with lover or husband. Cleonice. Faintly. I will have naught to do whether with lover or husband. Lysistrata. Albeit he come to me with an erection. Cleonice. Her voice quavering. Albeit he come to me with an erection. In despair. Oh! Lysistrata. I cannot bear it. Lysistrata. Ignoring this outburst. I will live at home unbulled. Cleonice. I will live at home unbulled. Lysistrata. Beautifully dressed and wearing a saffron-colored gown. Cleonice. Beautifully dressed and wearing a saffron-colored gown. Lysistrata. To the end I may inspire my husband with the most ardent longings. Cleonice. To the end I may inspire my husband with the most ardent longings. Lysistrata. Never will I give myself voluntarily. Cleonice. Never will I give myself voluntarily. Lysistrata. And if he has me by force. Cleonice. And if he has me by force? Lysistrata. I will be cold as ice, and never stir a limb. Cleonice. I will be cold as ice, and never stir a limb. Lysistrata. I will neither extend my Persian slippers toward the ceiling. Cleonice. I will neither extend my Persian slippers toward the ceiling. Lysistrata. Nor will I crouch like the carven lions on a knife handle. Cleonice. Nor will I crouch like the carven lions on a knife handle. Lysistrata. And if I keep my oath, may I be suffered to drink of this wine. Cleonice. More courageously. And if I keep my oath, may I be suffered to drink of this wine. Lysistrata. But if I break it, let my bowl be filled with water. Cleonice. But if I break it, let my bowl be filled with water. Lysistrata. Will you all take this oath? All. We do. Lysistrata. Then I'll now consume this remnant. She drinks. Cleonice. Reaching for the cup. Enough, enough, my dear, now let us all drink in turn to cement our friendship. They pass the cup around and all drink. A great commotion is heard off stage. Lampito. Listen. What do those cries mean? Lysistrata. It's what I was telling you, the women have just occupied the Acropolis. So now, Lampito, you return to Sparta to organize the plot, while your comrades here remain as hostages. For ourselves, let us go and join the rest in the citadel, and let us push the bolts well home. Cleonice. But don't you think the men will march up against us? Lysistrata. I laugh at them. Neither threats nor flames shall force our doors, they shall open only on the conditions I have named. Cleonice. Yes, yes, by Aphrodite, otherwise we should be called cowardly and wretched women. She follows Lysistrata out. The scene shifts to the entrance of the Acropolis. The chorus of old men slowly enters, carrying faggots and pots of fire. Leader of chorus of old men. Go easy, Draces, go easy, why, your shoulder is all chafed by these demmed heavy olive stalks. But forward still, forward, man, as needs must. First semi-chorus of old men. Singing. What unlooked for things do happen, to be sure, in a long life. Ah! Strymodorus, who would ever have thought it? Here we have the women, who used, for our misfortune, to eat our bread and live in our houses, daring nowadays to lay hands on the holy image of the goddess, to seize the Acropolis and draw bars and bolts to keep any from entering. Leader of chorus of old men. Come, Philurgus, man, let's hurry there, let's lay our faggots all about the citadel, and on the blazing pile burn with our hands these vile conspiratresses, one and all, and Lycaon's wife first and foremost. Second semi-chorus of old men. Singing. Nay, by Demeter, never will I let them laugh at me, whiles I have a breath left in my body. Cleomenes himself, the first who ever seized our citadel, had to quit it to his sore dishonor, spite his Lacedaemonian pride, he had to deliver me up his arms and slink off with a single garment to his back. My word! But he was filthy and ragged. And what an unkempt beard, to be sure. He had not had a bath for 6 long years. Leader of chorus of old men. Oh! But that was a mighty siege. Our men were ranged 17 deep before the gate, and never left their posts, even to sleep. These women, these enemies of Euripides and all the gods, shall I do nothing to hinder their inordinate insolence? Else let them tear down my trophies of Marathon. First semi-chorus of old men. Singing. But look, to finish this toilsome climb, only this last steep bit is left to mount. Truly, it's no easy job without beasts of burden, and how these logs do bruise my shoulder. Still let us carry on, and blow up our fire and see it does not go out just as we reach our destination. Phew! Phew! Blowing the fire. Oh! Dear! What a dreadful smoke! Second semi-chorus of old men. Singing. It bites my eyes like a mad dog. It is Lemnian fire for sure, or it would never devour my eyelids like this. Come on, latches, let's hurry, let's bring succor to the goddess, it's now or never. Phew! Phew! Blowing the fire, oh dear! What a confounded smoke! Leader of chorus of old men. There now, there's our fire all bright and burning, thank the gods. Now, why not first put down our loads here, then take a vine branch, light it at the brazier and hurl it at the gate by way of battering ram. If they don't answer our summons by pulling back the bolts, then we set fire to the woodwork, and the smoke will choke them. Ye gods! What a smoke! Pfaw! Is there never a Samian general will help me unload my burden? Ah! It shall not gall my shoulder any more. Setting down the wood. Come, brazier, do your duty, make the embers flare, that I may kindle a brand, I want to be the first to hurl one. Aid me, heavenly victory, let us punish for their insolent audacity the women who have seized our citadel, and may we raise a trophy of triumph for success. They begin to build a fire. The chorus of women now enters, carrying pots of water. Leader of chorus of women. Oh! My dears, methinks I see fire and smoke, can it be a conflagration? Let us hurry all we can. First semi-chorus of women. Singing. Fly, fly, Nicodice, Ercolice and Cridle perish in the fire, or are stifled in the smoke raised by these accursed old men and their pitiless laws. But, great gods, can it be I come too late? Rising at dawn, I had the utmost trouble to fill this vessel at the fountain. Oh! What a crowd there was, and what a din! What a rattling of water pots! Servants and slave girls pushed and thronged me. However, here I have it full at last, and I am running to carry the water to my fellow townswomen, whom our foes are plotting to burn alive. Second semi-chorus of women. Singing. News has been brought us that a company of old, doddering grey-beards, loaded with enormous faggots, as if they wanted to heat a furnace, have taken the field, vomiting dreadful threats, crying that they must reduce to ashes these horrible women. Suffer them not, oh Goddess, but, of thy grace, may I see Athens and Greece cured of their warlike folly. 'Tis to this end, oh! Thou guardian deity of our city, goddess of the golden crest, that they have seized thy sanctuary. Be their friend and ally, Athena, and if any man hurl against them lighted firebrands, aid us to carry water to extinguish them. Leader of chorus of women. What is this I see, ye wretched old men? Honest and pious folk ye cannot be who act so vilely. Leader of chorus of old men. Ah, ha! Here's something new. A swarm of women stand posted outside to defend the gates. Leader of chorus of women. Fart at us, would you? We seem a mighty host, yet you do not see the 10,000th part of our sex. Leader of chorus of old men. Ho, Fadrius! Shall we stop their cackle? Suppose one of us were to break a stick across their backs, eh? Leader of chorus of women. Let us set down our water pots on the ground, to be out of the way, if they should dare to offer us violence. Leader of chorus of old men. Let someone knock out 2 or 3 teeth for them, as they did to Bupalus, they won't talk so loud then. Leader of chorus of women. Come on then, I wait you with unflinching foot, and no other bitch will ever grab your balls. Leader of chorus of old men. Silence! Or my stick will cut short your days. Leader of chorus of women. Now, just you dare to touch Stratiolus with the tip of your finger. Leader of chorus of old men. And if I batter you to pieces with my fists, what will you do? Leader of chorus of women. I will tear out your lungs and entrails with my teeth. Leader of chorus of old men. Oh! What a clever poet is Euripides! How well he says that woman is the most shameless of animals. Leader of chorus of women. Let's pick up our water jars again, Rodip. Leader of chorus of old men. You damned women, what do you mean to do here with your water? Leader of chorus of women. And you, old death in life, with your fire? Is it to cremate yourself? Leader of chorus of old men. I am going to build you a pyre to roast your female friends upon. Leader of chorus of women. And I am going to put out your fire. Leader of chorus of old men. You put out my fire, you? Leader of chorus of women. Yes, you shall soon see. Leader of chorus of old men. I don't know what prevents me from roasting you with this torch. Leader of chorus of women. I am getting you a bath ready to clean off the filth. Leader of chorus of old men. A bath for me, you dirty slut? Leader of chorus of women. Yes, indeed, a nuptial bath, tee hee. Leader of chorus of old men turning to his followers. Do you hear that? What insolence! Leader of chorus of women. I am a free woman, I tell you. Leader of chorus of old men. I will make you hold your tongue, never fear. Leader of chorus of women. Aha! You shall never sit any more amongst the Heliasts. Leader of chorus of old men. To his torch. Burn off her hair for her. Leader of chorus of women. To her pot. Klaus, do your duty. The women pitch the water in their water pots over the old men. Leader of chorus of old men. Oh, dear! Oh, dear! Oh, dear! Leader of chorus of women. Was it hot? Leader of chorus of old men. Hot, great gods! Enough, enough! Leader of chorus of women. I'm watering you, to make you bloom afresh. Leader of chorus of old men. Alas! I am too dry. Ah, me how! How I am trembling with cold. A magistrate enters, with a few Scythian policemen. Magistrate. These women, have they made din enough, I wonder, with their tambourines? Bewept Adonis enough upon their terraces? I was listening to the speeches last assembly day, and Demostratus, whom heaven confound, was saying we must all go over to Sicily, and lo! His wife was dancing round repeating, alas! Alas! Adonis, woe is me for Adonis! Demostratus was saying we must levy hoplites at Zacynthus, and there was his wife, more than half drunk, screaming on the house roof, weep, weep for Adonis. While that infamous Maddox was bellowing away on his side. Do you not blush, you women, for your wild and uproarious doings? Leader of chorus of old men. But you don't know all their effrontery yet. They abused and insulted us, then soused us with the water in their water pots, and have set us wringing out our clothes, for all the world as if we had baptized ourselves. Magistrate. And well done too, by Poseidon. We men must share the blame of their ill conduct, it is we who teach them to love riot and dissoluteness and sow the seeds of wickedness in their hearts. You see a husband go into a shop, look you, jeweler, says he, you remember the necklace you made for my wife? Well, the other evening, when she was dancing, the catch came open. Now, I am bound to start for Salamis, will you make it convenient to go up tonight to make her fastening secure? Another will go to the cobbler, a great, strong fellow, with a great, long tool, and tell him, the strap of one of my wife's sandals presses her little toe, which is extremely sensitive, come in about midday to supple the thing and stretch it. Now see the results. Take my own case as a magistrate. I have enlisted rowers, I want money to pay them, and the women slam the door in my face. But why do we stand here with arms crossed? Bring me a crowbar, I'll chastise their insolence. Ho! There, my fine fellow! To one of the Scythians, what are you gaping at the crows for? Looking for a tavern, I suppose, eh? Come on, bring crowbars here, and force open the gates. I will put a hand to the work myself. Lysistrata. Opening the gate and walking out. No need to force the gates, I am coming out, here I am. And why bolts and bars? What we want here is not bolts and bars and locks, but common sense. Magistrate. Jumping nervously, then striving manfully to regain his dignity. Really, my fine lady. Where is my officer? I want him to tie that woman's hands behind her back. Lysistrata. By Artemis, the virgin goddess. If he touches me with the tip of his finger, officer of the public peace though he be, let him look out for himself. The first Scythian defecates in terror. Magistrate. To another officer. How now, are you afraid? Seize her, I tell you, round the body. Two of you at her, and have done with it. Cleonice. By Pandrosus. If you lay a hand on her, I'll trample you underfoot till the crap comes out of you. The second Scythian defecates in terror. Magistrate. Look at the mess you've made. Where is there another officer? To the third Scythian. Bind that minx first, the one who speaks so prettily. Mere Rhine. By Phoebe, if you touch her with one finger, you'd better call quick for a surgeon. The third Scythian defecates in terror. Magistrate. What's that? Where's the officer? To the fourth Scythian. Lay hold of her. Oh! But I'm going to stop your foolishness for you all. Cleonice. By the Tauric Artemis, if you go near her, I'll pull out your hair, scream as you like. The fourth Scythian defecates in terror. Magistrate. Ah! Miserable man that I am! My own officers desert me. What ho! Are we to let ourselves be bested by a mob of women? Ho! Scythians mine, close up your ranks, and forward. Lysistrata. By the holy goddesses! You'll have to make acquaintance with 4 companies of women, ready for the fray and well armed to boot. Magistrate. Forward, Scythians, and bind them. The Scythians advance reluctantly. Lysistrata. Forward, my gallant companions, march forth, ye vendors of grain and eggs, garlic and vegetables, keepers of taverns and bakeries, wrench and strike and tear, come, a torrent of invective and insult. They beat the Scythians who retire in haste. Enough, enough now, retire, never rob the vanquished. The women withdraw. Magistrate. How unfortunate for my officers. Lysistrata. Ah, ha! So you thought you had only to do with a set of slave women. You did not know the ardor that fills the bosom of free-born dames. Magistrate. Ardor. Yes, by Apollo, ardor enough especially for the wine cup. Leader of chorus of old men. Sir, what good are words? They are of no avail with wild beasts of this sort. Don't you know how they have just washed us down, and with no very fragrant soap? Leader of chorus of women. What would you have? You should never have laid rash hands on us. If you start afresh, I'll knock your eyes out. My delight is to stay at home as coy as a young maid, without hurting anybody or moving any more than a milestone, but where the wasps, if you go stirring up the wasp's nest. Chorus of old men. Singing. Ah! Great gods! How get the better of these ferocious creatures? 'Tis past all bearing. But come, let us try to find out the reason of the dreadful scourge. With what end in view have they seized the citadel of Kranos, the sacred shrine that is raised upon the inaccessible rock of the Acropolis? Leader of chorus of old men. To the magistrate. Question them, be cautious and not too credulous. It would be culpable negligence not to pierce the mystery, if we may. Magistrate. Addressing the women. I would ask you first why you have barred our gates. Lysistrata. To seize the treasury, no more money, no more war. Magistrate. Then money is the cause of the war? Lysistrata. And of all our troubles. It was to find occasion to steal that Pisa Ndir and all the other agitators were forever raising revolutions. Well and good. But they'll never get another drachma here. Magistrate. What do you propose to do then, pray? Lysistrata. You ask me that. Why, we propose to administer the treasury ourselves. Magistrate. You do? Lysistrata. What is there in that to surprise you? Do we not administer the budget of household expenses? Magistrate. But that is not the same thing. Lysistrata. How so not the same thing? Magistrate. It is the treasury supplies the expenses of the war. Lysistrata. That's our first principle, no war. Magistrate. What? And the safety of the city? Lysistrata. We will provide for that. Magistrate. You? Lysistrata. Yes, we. Magistrate. What a sorry business. Lysistrata. Yes, we're going to save you, whether you like it or not. Magistrate. Oh. The impudence of the creatures. Lysistrata. You seem annoyed. But it has to be done, nevertheless. Magistrate. But it's the very height of iniquity. Lysistrata. Testily. We're going to save you, my good man. Magistrate. But if I don't want to be saved? Lysistrata. Why, all the more reason. Magistrate. But what a notion, to concern yourselves with questions of peace and war. Lysistrata. We will explain our idea. Magistrate. Out with it then, quick, or. Threatening her. Lysistrata. Sternly. Listen, and never a movement, please. Magistrate. In impotent rage. Oh. It is too much for me. I cannot keep my temper. Leader of chorus of women. Then look out for yourself, you have more to fear than we have. Magistrate. Stop your croaking, you old crow. To Lysistrata. Now you, say what you have to say. Lysistrata. Willingly. All the long time the war has lasted, we have endured in modest silence all you men did, you never allowed us to open our lips. We were far from satisfied, for we knew how things were going, often in our homes we would hear you discussing, upside down and inside out, some important turn of affairs. Then with sad hearts, but smiling lips, we would ask you, well, in today's assembly did they vote peace? But, mind your own business. The husband would growl, hold your tongue, please. And we would say no more. Cleonice. I would not have held my tongue though, not I. Magistrate. You would have been reduced to silence by blows then. Lysistrata. Well, for my part, I would say no more. But presently I would come to know you had arrived at some fresh decision more fatally foolish than ever. Ah! My dear man, I would say, what madness next? But he would only look at me askance and say, "Just weave your web, please, else your cheeks will smart for hours. War is men's business." Magistrate. Bravo! Well said indeed. Lysistrata. How now, wretched man? Not to let us contend against your follies was bad enough. But presently we heard you asking out loud in the open street, "Is there never a man left in Athens?" And, "No, not one, you were assured in reply. Then we made up our minds without more delay to make common cause to save Greece. Open your ears to our wise counsels and hold your tongues, and we may yet put things on a better footing." Magistrate. You put things indeed. Oh! This is too much. The insolence of the creatures. Lysistrata. Be still. Magistrate. May I die 1,000 deaths ere I obey one who wears a veil. Lysistrata. If that's all that troubles you, here, take my veil, wrap it round your head, and hold your tongue. Cleonice. Then take this basket, put on a girdle, card wool, munch beans. The war shall be women's business. Leader of chorus of women. Lay aside your water pots, we will guard them, we will help our friends and companions. Chorus of women. Singing. For myself, I will never weary of the dance, my knees will never grow stiff with fatigue. I will brave everything with my dear allies, on whom nature has lavished virtue, grace, boldness, cleverness, and whose wisely directed energy is going to save the state. Leader of chorus of women. Oh! My good, gallant Lysistrata, and all my friends, be ever like a bundle of nettles, never let your anger slacken, the winds of fortune blow our way. Lysistrata. May gentle love and the sweet Cyprian queen shower seductive charms on our breasts and our thighs. If only we may stir so amorous a feeling among the men that they stand as firm as sticks, we shall indeed deserve the name of peacemakers among the Greeks. Magistrate. How will that be, pray? Lysistrata. To begin with, we shall not see you any more running like mad fellows to the market holding lance in fist. Cleonice. That will be something gained, anyway, by the Paphian goddess, it will. Lysistrata. Now we see them, mixed up with saucepans and kitchen stuff, armed to the teeth, looking like wild Corybants. Magistrate. Why, of course, that's what brave men should do. Lysistrata. Oh! But what a funny sight, to behold a man wearing a Gorgon's head buckler coming along to buy fish. Cleonice. The other day in the market I saw a Philarch with flowing ringlets, he was on horseback, and was pouring into his helmet the broth he had just bought at an old dame's still. There was a Thracian warrior too, who was brandishing his lance like Tyrrheus in the play. He had scared a good woman selling figs into a perfect panic, and was gobbling up all her ripest fruit. Magistrate. And how, pray, would you propose to restore peace and order in all the countries of Greece? Lysistrata. It's the easiest thing in the world. Magistrate. Come, tell us how, I am curious to know. Lysistrata. When we are winding thread, and it is tangled, we pass the spool across and through the skein, now this way, now that way, even so, to finish of the war, we shall send embassies hither and thither and everywhere, to disentangle matters. Magistrate. And is it with your yarn, and your skeins, and your spools, you think to appease so many bitter enmities, you silly women? Lysistrata. If only you had common sense, you would always do in politics the same as we do with our yarn. Magistrate. Come, how is that, Lysistrata. First we wash the yarn to separate the grease and filth, do the same with all bad citizens, sort them out and drive them forth with rods, they're the refuse of the city. Then for all such as come crowding up in search of employments and offices, we must card them thoroughly, then, to bring them all to the same standard, pitch them pell-mell into the same basket, resident aliens, or no, allies, debtors to the state, all mixed up together. Then as for our colonies, you must think of them as so many isolated hanks, find the ends of the separate threads, draw them to a center here, wind them into one, make one great hank of the lot, out of which the public can weave itself a good, stout tunic. Magistrate. Is it not a sin and a shame to see them carding and winding the state, these women who have neither art nor part in the burdens of the war? Lysistrata. What? Wretched man! Why, it's a far heavier burden to us than to you. In the first place, we bear sons who go off to fight far away from Athens. Magistrate. Enough said. Do not recall sad and sorry memories. Lysistrata. Then secondly, instead of enjoying the pleasures of love and making the best of our youth and beauty, we are left to languish far from our husbands, who are all with the army. But say no more of ourselves, what afflicts me is to see our girls growing old in lonely grief. Magistrate. Don't the men grow old too? Lysistrata. That is not the same thing. When the soldier returns from the wars, even though he has white hair, he very soon finds a young wife. But a woman has only one summer, if she does not make hay while the sun shines, no one will afterwards have anything to say to her, and she spends her days consulting oracles that never send her a husband. Magistrate. But the old man who can still get an erection. Lysistrata. But you, why don't you get done with it and die? You are rich, go buy yourself a beer, and I will knead you a honey cake for Cerberus. Here, take this garland. Drenching him with water. Cleonice. And this one too. Drenching him with water. Mere Rhine. And these fillets. Drenching him with water. Lysistrata. What else do you need? Step aboard the boat, Charon is waiting for you, you're keeping him from pushing off. Magistrate. To treat me so scurvily. What an insult! I will go show myself to my fellow magistrates just as I am. Lysistrata. What? Are you blaming us for not having exposed you according to custom? Nay, console yourself, we will not fail to offer up the third-day sacrifice for you, first thing in the morning. She goes into the Acropolis with Cleonice and Mere Rhine.